What do you think of my new lanyard? I'm pretending I'm cool and that I work in an office where I need a badge, but I don't. But I needed something to put on here to tell you this is another lanyard sewing tutorial. This time we're doing these very popular scrunchy elastic lanyards that seem to be taking the country by storm. I don't know, maybe the world, but definitely the US. It is made with 3/4 inch elastic. And then I'm going to show you how to use pre-cut fabric. So if you're a fan of using these for quilting or other projects and you have a bin like me of extras, we're going to put these to use. If you don't have them and you never use them, not to worry. All you're going to do is cut strips of fabric that are 2.5 inches wide by the width of your fabric. Everyone is going to be good to go with this. Let me show you what you need and how easy these are to make. Got my bucket out that has strips from a few different collections. If you don't buy pre-cut strips like this, you're just going to cut lengths of fabric that are 2.5 inches wide. And honestly, you're going to have a lot less lint when you're doing this project because boy, oh boy, does that fray, which is why supply number 1 is a lint brush. You're going to have this stuff all over you. But if you sew with these, you know this already. This is not news to you. The next thing you're going to need is 35 inches of 3/4 inch wide elastic. I highly recommend a tube turner. It's going to make everything go a lot faster, but you will need a safety pin still to thread the elastic through the tube. A 1-inch key fob, and highly recommend getting the pliers with that. It works so much faster and easier than using regular pliers. Then I add a little lobster clasp. I've seen people use all different kinds. So if you have a bunch of these sitting around and it has a different end to it, maybe it's got a long one more like this, then use what you have. But I love these ones that have just a little circle to put on the end, because then it isn't going to float around all that much more. It's going to stay pretty close. It's not like flying an inch to either side. Then I'm just going to be using a teeny tiny ruler and rotary cutter because we're going to play with how we put these strips together. So let's get the supplies out of the way and talk about the fabric. So for one of these lanyards, you're going to use 2 of the 2.5 inch pre-cut strips. And I've done it 2 different ways. So this one, I just took 2 strips, I sewed them together, and I put them on the elastic, which gives me this look. The dark color, which is strip number 1 on the one side, and then the strip number 2 color on the other side. If you wanted it to look much more consistent, you would just use the same color strip twice. But I thought, well, let's just see what this is. Now you'll also notice that you can kind of see what the icons are on here, but it's more subtle because the fabric is so gathered. Now this one, it is again 2 strips, and I cut one of them in half and left this one plain. That gives me the teal at the bottom on both sides, and then this kind of lime green that goes around the neck. So a little bit of a different look. Since I showed you one where I just sewed 2 strips together and how that looks, and one where I cut 1 strip in half and sewed those together, let's do one where we cut both strips in half and make it a little bit more of, color blocking. Let's do something totally different. So let's take a red, and we'll do something with no icons this time. Let's do this wood and black. So we're going to go bold this time. You can see all that lint. Actually, I'm going to get some of it off before I even start. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the selvages off the bottom. This one has been in that bin for a little bit, so it's kind of folded up. One thing I love about scrunchy stuff is you don't have to iron. So you don't have to iron these tubes open before you put it onto the elastic because it's going to get all ruffled. And I showed the difference and that it wasn't a difference when I did the scrunchy key fobs. So I will put a link to how to do the scrunchy key fob video in here as well. But trust me, now we already know that we do not need to iron anything. So now I've opened these up to the folds. I'm just going to cut each of these in half. It doesn't have to be an exact science. If you wanted to cut it into more pieces, you could. If you wanted this to look even more color blocked, you could cut this into 4 pieces. But we're just going to do like each section in 4 pieces. So you would have 8. We're just going to do 4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew red, black, and we're going to stitch these together with a 1/4 inch seam. Off to the sewing machine. So I'm going to use my little scrap leader fabric to get my thread started so I don't end up with it pulled under and knotted on my project. Just take a few stitches and then 1/4 inch seam across here. And sew these 2 together. Now I'm just going to cut off that leader fabric. Four pieces, we have the 3 seams together. Now it is time to sew it in half. So I'm just going to start at one end. I'm going to fold that right sides together. Use my little leader fabric again. And this is really long, so it's about 80 inches long. I just have it draped down on the floor, kind of in between my legs, because I don't feel like pinning it. Really no need to take the time to do that. So what I do is as it's coming onto the table next to my sewing machine, I'm just putting it together. So I'm just kind of doing it as we sew. And we're sewing this together with a 1/4 inch seam as well. When you get to the seams, I've tried it both ways. The first one, I tried it where I just sewed it where they were flat like this. And then the second one, I opened the seams. Actually found it easier to get the elastic through when I did it like this and not opened because nothing caught on that seam. You just want to make sure that you put all 3 of these seams, or however many you have, going in the same direction. So we're going to have, actually I'm going to just flip it so that they're all facing me. So it's really easy for the foot to go across there. I don't have to hold it down. Now make sure you do that seam in the same direction. Do the seam towards you. Now because we're going to use a tube turner, when you get to the end, you want to sew across the end. You want one end closed. And I know you might be thinking, but then how's the elastic going to go through? We're going to cut that off after we get it turned. But it is way easier to turn this super, super long tube with a tube turner than having to use the elastic. Now, one thing that I love about this style is they're super fast. They take like 10 to 15 minutes to make, and there's no ironing. You're basically sewing together this really long strip, turning it right side out, putting the elastic in. That's honestly what takes the most time, is getting the elastic strung through this 80-inch piece of fabric, and then adding the hardware on the end. I'm going to share some tips and tricks I have figured out from making a few of these for turning this efficiently. And I am using a Dritz tube turner, the big one, for 1/2 inch to 1 inch fabric tubes. Now, I've done some other projects like this, and the boba tea lovers like to tell me how they use a boba straw. I don't know that a boba straw is going to be strong enough to turn this long of a tube, because you do put a bit of pressure on this thing. But if you try it, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, you might have to pony up under $10 and get one of these. So we're just going to put this in, and then we just need to push it to the very bottom, which, yay, makes more lint. I'm trying not to leave here covered with that. So now we have the tube at the very bottom where we sewed across, and we're going to use the dowel rod to turn it right side out. So you take the more pointy end, doesn't actually matter for this because we're not going to get that squared off, and you push the fabric into the tube. Now here is where it gets tricky, because we have all this fabric and this tube's only this long. So I tried it the first time where I was kind of holding it, and then you get to a point where you can't scrunch any more fabric on here. And if you get it scrunched too tight, it gets hard to move. So then you start pulling it back and the stick started coming back. So I have found that the easiest way is to keep it kind of like this. I can feel the stick. So here is the top of the tube and here is the top of the stick. So I'm holding onto that stick as I am starting to pull that fabric off. Then I place it on the table. So I'm standing the tube up on the table, and then I'm pushing down. until we have lots of fabric again. Then I'm grabbing that stick again and I'm pulling that fabric off. So you're just going to repeat that. This is way faster than trying to deal with the stick coming out of this end. And keep pulling until this becomes flat. Because as I said, if you let this get too bunched up down here, it gets tricky. This is way easier on your hands too than doing the safety pin method of turning this right side out. And we have to use the safety pin method to get the elastic in here. So save your fingers for the first part. Now we can see that it's coming out. So we're just gonna hold both of these. See, I got it a little too bunched and it's too tight and it won't flip. So then you just pull it back this way so that you can get it to keep going. And you're just going to be pushing and pulling to get this all right side out. Okay, so now we can just pull the plastic off. We don't need the stick because we don't have to worry about getting that nice and square because that's not the point of this project. So now I'm just going to get this stick out. And honestly, the easiest way to do this is to just hold it over the floor and let it drop. So we're going to take the end that is sewn. I'm just going to kind of flatten it out because we want a straightish edge, and then I'm just going to clip. Doesn't matter really how much you take off. If you take 1/2 inch, inch, 1/4 inch, that's not going to matter. You're not going to notice a difference with your lanyard. Now, I love that we don't have to go to the ironing board and iron this flat like for other projects. It's one thing I love about doing scrunchy stuff. We're going to take our safety pin, put it on the end of the elastic, and you guessed it, we're going to thread this through. Now, I've also played around with worrying about where that seam is. Like, oh, I want to try and keep the seam in the center of one side of the elastic. It doesn't matter. You are not going to know because it's going to be so scrunchied. So we're just going to be threading this through. You don't have to worry about where you're at for a while, but the goal is to get the end of the fabric to this end of the elastic. So you can't just keep going with wild abandon all the way to the end. We're going to focus when we get closer because we need to sew this here before we finish getting this elastic all the way through. Now, if you are going to be making a lot of these, this would be a great part to do while you're sitting watching TV. Or, I don't know, you could hire your kids to do it if they're looking to earn money. Speaking of kids, if you have kids that want to learn to sew, this could be a great project for them to do if they're making something for teachers, like for Teacher Appreciation Week or the holidays or end of year. It's all straight sewing. It's pretty quick and it's a bunch of threading and it's something that they could be pretty proud. And teachers always need lanyards for their ID badges. They could also make it for family members that have ID badges for work. I mean, lots of people are using lanyards for keys, for ID badges, for whatever. So you'll see we're getting close to the end. We've got this pretty tight. So I just kind of keep pushing this fabric down, but you have to be careful because if you lose this too far into the fabric, you're going to have to start over. If you only lose it about 1 inch, you can use tweezers to grab it. Ooh. Oh no, look, I just said don't do it too far. So mine slipped in really quickly. It's there, this is here. Let's see if we can scooch it. Oh no, I've got some long tweezers. These are reverse tweezers, I love them. So when you're not squeezing it, they're closed. And when you squeeze it, they're open. So I'm gonna put them in here. Yep, I can get to that elastic. I'm squeezing to open it, grab the elastic, pull that out. It's always so much fun when things happen that I tell you to be careful not to happen because it's a pain. All right, so there's my elastic. There's the end. I'm gonna put a clip on that because I do not want to have to do that again. I'm just gonna jump to the sewing machine really quick and just go back and forth really close to the edge, like forward, back, forward, back. And I sewed about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. We don't want it too far because the key fob hardware will only cover 1 inch of your end fabric. It's just to hold the elastic in place while we finish threading it through the rest of the tube. So that's attached. So now we're going to just finish and just keep moving the scrunchy part down, the fabric down, just like when we turned it right side out. If it gets too tight in one spot, it won't move. But keep it flat 1 inch to 2 inches at the bottom. We don't want it super scrunched when we go to put on our key fob hardware. So while I am doing this, let me know in the comments who you might make this for. There we go, we have it out the other end. And now what we're going to do is we're going to line this end up with this end. Now it's really important to make sure you don't twist this. You don't want your lanyard to be like twisted around a couple times. So you want to stretch it out and bring these ends together, and then do this to make sure it is straight and there's no twist in it. Now we're going to go back and we're going to sew this a little more securely, about 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch from the end, so that it flattens it a little bit and it gets that nice and secure. So I just went back and forth, nothing organized or neat about it, no squares, nothing like that. But I also didn't stay in the same line. This is very purposefully across the elastic a little bit because that's going to be a stronger hold for your elastic. Now I'm gonna grab my little trash bin and I need to trim this end flat. We don't want a bunch of stuff sticking out because there's not a ton of space where this is gonna hold, and we want it to be nice and flat against that end. So now we have a nice flat edge. Now it is time to grab our pliers and our hardware. This is again 1-inch key fob hardware, and that you can put your fabric in it first, then put it on the pliers. I find it easiest to put this in the pliers and line up the edges. So the edge of the key fob hardware is at the edge of there. See, like that. And you'll notice there's a little spike in there. That is going to push into the fabric and elastic to help hold it. Now, some people also have mentioned that they add a little bit of glue, like that E6000 glue in here, just to make sure everything stays secure. I think it's going to be okay, but if you feel better putting glue in there, by all means, go for it. So I'm holding it really gently because I don't want to be squeezing it until I get the fabric in. Then I put the fabric in and I check it from the edges. I want to make sure it's not hanging out. We want it nice and centered. And then I squeeze really hard. You want that nice and tight. Now, because this is pretty thick, I like to go back on the sides and give it a little extra squeeze to just get that clamped down as well as possible. Okay, so now we have that on, but you can see that it's like super scrunchy here and barely anything here. So you're just gonna go through and just kind of organize the fabric so it's more evenly spread around the elastic, which is kind of fun because, you know, the elastic's stretching as you're doing that. This is another good watching TV project, maybe. Sitting in the car waiting to pick up the kids or the grandkids from some activity or other. Now, if you're going to be using it for keys, you could just put your keys right on here and you could skip the lobster clasp. This is more for like ID badges and things like that. So I'm just going to string that on here like it's a key. And there you go. Because of the cost of materials and the time that it takes to make and their popularity right now, quite honestly, these are definitely something to consider if you are looking for ideas to sew and sell. That said, just remember that some things sell better in certain places than others. If you're selling online, if you're selling in person, and also taking into account the trends and the styles of the area as far as your fabric choices and things like that. If you are a fan of pre-cut fabrics and these 2.5-inch pre-cuts and you have some extras lying around, you're like, what on earth am I going to do with them? This is the perfect project for that. Now, I have some other projects that use these 2.5-inch pre-cuts. I will put links below the video if you want to look for more ways to use your extras. All right, so what do you think? Is this a style that you think you're going to make? Who are you going to make it for? Yourself, your family, gifts, selling? Let me know in the comments. And I would love to know your thoughts about how you would put it together. As I said, this is one. I used 2.5-inch pre-cuts. I just kept them straight. So we have the one color on the one side, one on the other side. This one, I cut both of them in half, so it gives a little bit more variety of red, black, red, black. And then the one I have on my neck, I didn't cut this one. I cut this one in half. So the teal's in the front and this green is going all the way around the back. Lots and lots of ways to go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so YouTube notifies you when I'm doing something new, and happy sewing.